Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is a preview of week 2, preseason week 2, the New York Giants versus the Carolina Panthers, and I'm excited. Why am I excited? Because we finally get to see the starters. This is that dress rehearsal week of the preseason where you get to see your starters go out there and play in a game. You know, we had practice. We're excited about that. We had the joint practices. We're excited about that. We saw a preseason game without the starters. Excited about that as well. Didn't get the results we wanted, not everybody, but still excited for that game as well. But now against the Carolina Panthers, we finally get to see the starters. I want to see the starters. I want to see this offensive tempo. I want to see what Daniel Jones does when he has the chance to get sacked. I want to see how he operates within that type of pressure, because we've seen what he can do when he can't be touched. We've seen that, and I'm very, very excited. I want to see how he operates when he can be sacked, and that's going to give you a real idea of what exactly we expect to see, going into this season. So again, I want to see the connection between him and Waller. That's another thing I want to look for, and that I want to see. I want to see if what we're doing in practice with Waller, how he's unguardable, see if that happens against the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers, we all saw it last week, had an awful game against the New York Jets. Awful game. And I hope they have an awful game again, because I need to see this team moving up and down the field at will on the Carolina Panthers. I really do. Another thing I want to see is I want to see Hyde get targeted. Like all last week, all those reps, Hyde didn't get targeted once. I want to see that. I want to see Hyatt and Daniel Jones and see what that connection looks like. I want to see Daniel Jones and Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins. I want to see a lot of people. Mainly, I want to see how this quarterback operates and finds his receivers, goes through his progressions, how fast he's getting the ball out. I want to see the running backs. Last week we saw the running backs couldn't do anything. The offensive line was horrible for the most part. Andrew Thomas is going to play on Friday. Daniel Jones is going to play on Friday. Saquon Barkley probably won't play this Friday. But you get the chance to see these running backs behind the starting offensive line. And I'm hoping that we see a better showing, especially in the running game. Outside of that break-off run by Jashaun Corbin, I want to see the rest of these guys go off, against the Carolina Panthers, against another first team. Behind our first team, and see how we look. This is a big game in my opinion. And I say that because we really don't know if in this third preseason game, that third week against the Jets, if the starters are going to actually play. We don't know for sure. So this is the closest thing to a real game. I need to see a lot of snaps from the starters. I will say this though. If the New York Giants are successful moving the ball downfield, then, go ahead and bring them out. Couple of good series, maybe a couple of touchdowns. Go ahead and pull guys off the field, and, let's run with the seconds after that. But ultimately, what we've seen all minicamp, training camp, joint practices, what we've seen, what we've heard, what we've read about Daniel Jones and his offense, Daniel Jones to Waller, that connection, Daniel Jones to everybody else, everything we've heard, read, and seen. I need to see that on Friday for the Carolina Panthers. Now let's switch it to the defense. Again, I need to see the starters. Last week, who do we see? McFadden, who's going to be possibly the starter. Pinnock, we did see Banks, we did see Trey Hawkins, Noah Dory Jackson. Of course, no Dexter Lawrence, no Leonard Williams, none of those guys, right? No Bobby Okereke, none of those guys. But in this game, in this preseason against the Carolina Panthers, I expect to see all of the starters playing at least a quarter in this game against the Carolina Panthers. So what I'm checking for is this. Last year, we were horrible stopping the run. So against the Carolina Panthers early, when we have these starters in there, I expect that this defense to be shut down when it comes to Carolina trying to run the ball on us. It should be shut down every time. Joe Shane made it a point to go out there and get, defensive line help. He brought in Nacho. He brought in Ashawn Robinson. Dexter Lawrence got his big deal. Leonard Williams is back. Bobby Okereke is the revamped portion of the Giants linebackers. Micah McFadden playing with Bobby Okereke. We get to see how that looks, because last year a lot of people will say that Micah McFadden had a bad showing because who was he playing with? Jay Crowder, Jalen Smith, and that's a valid excuse, absolutely valid. Now that he has a guy like Bobby Okereke, is Micah McFadden going to be better because the people around him are better? That's something that we need to see. Darian Beavers, I thought we were going to see Darian Beavers last week. Come to find out, he's on the pitch count. They didn't want him to play by design, and I'm assuming this week is going to be a big week for Darian Beavers. We should see not necessarily a lot of Darian Beavers, but I definitely want to see Darian Beavers often. Not a lot, but often. If it's going to be a rotation between him and Micah McFadden, I hope that whoever starts the game, that these guys get to play with the starters as well. Like, I don't want to see all Micah McFadden with the first team defense, and then you bring in Darian Beavers with the second team. I want to see Darian Beavers and Micah McFadden kind of rotating with that starting defensive line in front of them. Another person I want to see is Kayvon Thibodeaux. We saw the interview, the presser with Wink Martindale. He talked about Kayvon Thibodeaux, what he expects, the expectations for Kayvon Thibodeaux, and I'm with him. The hype coming out of college for Kayvon Thibodeaux was enormous. The pressure that he puts on himself is enormous. And you see it in his work ethic. This man is ready to go. And I hope that he's prime and ready to go as well. And I think we're going to see that. Azeez Ojulari, how healthy are you? How are you looking? How are you better in the run game? How is this? No more soft tissue injuries. You seem to have a healthy training camp. I'm ready for Azeez Ojulari to show out. But there's also a lot of other people I want to see. I want to see McKinney communicating this defense. I want everybody to look fast. And again, I expect to see this against this Carolina Panthers team. Again, it was a horrible showing for the Carolina Panthers last week. Or maybe the Jets are just that good. But the Jets really didn't play their starters for real. So I expect, and the Carolina Panthers kind of did. So I expect the Carolina Panthers not to be happy with what they did last week, and then come out this week ready to go. And hopefully we get the full-on package calls from the Carolina Panthers. I want to see them go out and Bryce Young try to do his thing, and we just go ahead and shut him down. That's what I want to see. In a perfect world for me, a New York Giants fan, that's what I want to see. So when you see, I do have my notes today. I am going off my notes, handwritten notes. I know you guys have fun with that all the time. But, that's, I like to keep it on track. Yesterday, no notes. I went on a rant. And then, it is what it is. Today, I have my notes. Hopefully, no rant. I think I made it pretty much through this video without a rant. So that's pretty good. So I just want to talk about some under-the-radar guys that I want to see in Friday's game. So just going down my list, I want to see Timon Fox. I want to see Cordell Flott. And Cordell Flott is not really under the radar, but I need to see Cordell Flott act like he wants to win that slot corner position. I need to see that from him. He had a pretty good game, pretty good showing before he got hurt last week. I need to see him do even better than that this week. I want to see Baldonado again. We saw Baldonado with the threes last week, and he looked like he was the best player on the field out of the guys that were on the field. So if he can get some second team reps or get some first half reps against more quality opponent, I would like to see that as well. Alex Cook, the UDFA we picked up from Washington, showed that he can do a couple of things last week, showing that he had a certain skill set. Again, at Washington, he missed the whole season due to injury. He came back, he goes undrafted, but the guy has some talent there. He's a guy that I think sneaky might, actually make the practice squad. Javarius Owens, I want to see what he does with more snaps and quality play against more quality opponent as far as running with the twos and things like that. There's just a lot of guys that I need to see. Riley is another one that I just want to see keep progressing and doing their thing. And then another person I want to see Marcus McKeithen finally. He's off of the PUP list. He's practicing. He's practicing with the threes right now. I want to see Marcus McKeithen. I want to see what he can do, how he's moving around out there. I know he needs to still recover fully. I don't know if he's all the way there mentally, physically, he's cleared. But, mentally is another thing when it comes to knee injuries or major knee injuries. So I want to see Marcus McKeith, and the list goes on and on and on. So put your list of guys down below. And if it's the same guys that you wrote last week, that's fine. A lot of the people that I'm talking about right now are the same people I had on the list last week. I need to see constant, improvement. DJ Davis, another one. He came off of PUP list. He saw how Jordan Riley played last week. He's fighting for a spot on this team, in my opinion. So it's just a lot of things that I want to see on Friday, and I expect the New York Giants to move this ball up and down the field on offense. And when it comes to our defense, I want to see punts galore from the Carolina Panthers. I want to see Bryce Young frustrated. I want to see, Bryce Young going 2 for 8, while he's in there for like 7 yards, just like the Jets did pretty much last week to him. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. And if we can do a better job than the Jets did last week against them, and they beat them 27-0. They beat them 27-0. If we can go ahead and give them the goose egg too, I'm happy. I'm happy. But most of all, I just want to see the team starters play and look like they did, towards in training camp. So that's going to be my video about the Carolina Panthers versus New York Giants, preseason week 2. I'm excited, like I'm always excited to see the New York Giants play. And I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.